116, that one.
It's actually not far off what he often does. He's not a guy that's going to throw in huge heat. He has the ability, but for the most part, he just likes to slide the lefty into the backhand of players.
That 1 year he won, Jimmy, remember he was popping him in the 130s. That's the biggest serving we'd ever seen from him, and then he stopped doing it.
Never did it again. It's true. It was the strangest year. You're right. I wonder if he's saying to himself, I'm so good I can beat you serving half speed. Oh. Well, if you're Rinky, you better get into a rally here this point if you can, just to get rid of some of the nerves. His job in this game in the next point or two is have a 20-shot rally and then get rid of sort of the jitters of playing in front of this many people for the first time.
And in front of Rafel Nadal.
Yes. Unfortunately for Hijikata, he got nothing out of that first game. He missed 3 returns and got aced.
All-America, by the way, at the University of North Carolina. It's funny because here's Rinky Hijikata, who's done time in college. Rafa explained why he chose tennis over soccer, what they call football in Europe. He said, well, my mother said I cannot keep doing football, tennis, and school. She said, pick 2, and school has to be one of them.
Oh, so that was unfortunate for him. It's my daughter told me 3 things in college: school, partying, and sports. I can only do 2, so I'm not going to do sports.
Oh, okay, great.
Hijikata,
that's not what. Either, well, Hijikata, too many of the players have done time in college, but the ones who have had some terrific results.
Hijikata will get to the net.
Okay.
That is what he did quite a bit with Medvedev, and Nadal has a similar style from the standpoint of he's very far back to return. So you need to open the court up with your serve and then take the next ball early and try to get in and force him to hit uncomfortable passing shots. What you do not want to have happen if you're Hijikata is just hit a rally ball into the center of the court and let Nadal start hitting forehands. And once he gets a hold of one in that type of situation, it's almost impossible to get it away from his forehand.
He has never faced a ball like the kind he's getting tonight.
No, that's why his backhand so far hasn't hit the center of the racket yet. And that's why it was so important in the first game to get into a rally.
15-30. All.
serve, and volley. That's going to be a play that he has to use, to me, twice a game.
Twice a game. He's got to get some nice serves in then, doesn't he?
It doesn't have to be hard. It just needs to get out wide. He's just got to spin it out wide. So he should be able to. Not sure in this ad court if he can hit it to the forehand and try it.
Here he is again.
Game.
He's on the board. He's playing like old school, way back Aussie style tennis.
No, he is. Again, he played. I've only seen him once before against Medvedev. So as far as poor guy's only played 2 matches. Played #1 and #2 in the world, basically. I mean,
look at that.
But he did a great job coming in against Medvedev. And that was an important game for Hijikata. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you want to get, that's why he's that emotional. You want to get on a board early against a great player in this situation, or your mind can wander to, am I going to embarrass myself?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
A game, or you can get to an ugly spot in a hurry. So good for him that managed to hold from 15-30. Got to make a return, however. 0 returns in play.
Nadal's just going to keep buzzing the ball into the backhand, isn't he?
Till Hijikata makes one.
All.
Do you see him trying to change his service motion at all, kind of bend them in, Jimmy?
It does seem as there's a little less stretch with his toss arm to me. It's a little bit more side army. But again, it's nice to be a lefty. Because that serve still is annoying. It's still spinning sort of away to the backhand, and it's low, and it's hard to really do much with it. And Hijikata still hasn't put one back in play.
Oh.
$40-15.
There's Carlos Moya on the left. I suppose he's the lead coach, Mark Lopez.
Mark Lopez was Rafa's partner when they won the gold in the Olympics in Brazil. Rafa was as happy winning that thing, it seemed, with his great friend as he was winning every other title.
Game, Nadal. Nadal leads 2-1. First set. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First available seat, please. Players are waiting.
The second match tonight. We'll see Naomi
Any seat for
Osaka
now,
taking
please.
this court, the
Thank you.
two-time US Open champion, taking on the 19th seed Danielle Collins. So some of these fans are arriving a little later. That would be my guess.
Ball.
Love 15.
Well, that hurts a little. Serve and volley. It was a nice serve and really had a good look at the volley, but Nadal guessed right, and it is so tough to volley a ball off the shot that Nadal hits to you. The way it dips.
Rinky's mom, Makoto Rinky's father, is his tennis coach.
15-30.
I spent an awful lot of time, Jimmy, trying to figure out who Rinky Hijikata was, because I've never seen him play. I mean, I went into a deep dive into one of those weird sites, straining to find info on this guy, including a site that said, quote, according to astrologers,
30 all.
Rinky Hijikata's zodiac sign is Pisces.
Okay. So we know he's a Pisces.
I was digging, okay? I was trying.
And we know he can serve and volley
We sure
reasonably
do.
well.
I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, one more time here. He's got to, and Rafa should be ready for it because that's the best play. He went with pace down the tee. He's gotten him a couple times serving out wide.
40-30.
Mom is excited.
Game. Hijikata. Two games all. First
So
set.
Hijikata continuing to find a way to hold serve.
See her proudly wearing her North Carolina shirt.
Yes, it says national champion. I'm not sure if she's talking about tennis or basketball with that sweatshirt. There you go. Division I national champions.
There you go.
Indoor tennis. So they must have won the indoor nationals. There's in front of her is
Please, once again,
Paul
ladies and
Kildare.
gentlemen, your voices. Thank you.
Aussie player.
Killer.
Yes.
Love 15.
And I know this probably isn't overly scary for Rafa that it's 2-all, but he's playing a guy that started out slightly nervously, didn't make any returns. He was going to get better than what he's played in these first couple of games, and it's still 2-all. So it's not necessarily discouraging, but you feel as though if you're Rafa at this point in this situation, he should be up a break.
This is where you start kicking him loose.
He should have already been up a break, and so the fact that it's 2-all just means he's not quite Rafa yet.
30-15. (40-15). Game, Nadal.
Fault.
(15 love).
Here's a question I've got. Can Hijikata continue to serve this well? He's at 69%. That's allowing him to find the net, isn't it?
Yeah, and the answer to that is probably not. Because he's not super tall, and so if he's trying to smack those first serves in with pace, he's going to make some errors. This is a serve and volley that I'm not a fan of, and that is bringing Nadal first into the center of the court with the serve down the tee. Even if you hit a good volley, he's going to have a look at a passing shot, and you're not going to like what you see for the most part. So serve and volley out wide.
Fault.
And then try to change up with, you know, going for an ace down the tee and hitting a ground stroke.
30-15.
Nadal's sort of doing something. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen him that much this year, that he's trying to take second serve returns early. Made an error last time. He's back where he always is here on first serve behind the stadium.
All.
Yeah, this forehand is just sort of ridiculous, isn't it? When once he gets you on that string, you're in trouble. It's going to be almost impossible to not get out of the trap of him hitting forehands.
This is just what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Middle of the court forehand. Especially if you give him something short. Oh, look at this, Hijikata.
Mr. Nadal is requesting replay of the right serve.
Okay, I really don't understand this replay request thing. They can't overrule it, right? They can't overrule a play that's been called electronically?
Well, the machine has never overruled itself yet, so it's not going to do it now. But
well, that's what I mean. Nadal just wanted to see it?
I'm pretty sure Nadal was 100% sure it was long. And I actually...
And if it was long, what would happen?
Nothing. It's going to be called in because the machine called it in. It's not going to change anything.
Look, that's what I mean. It's confusing to me.
Did get out of the trap, didn't he?
3 games all.
This time he was in trouble this rally. And so finally from way behind the baseline out near the sideline, he decides I'm going to go for it. that would probably be the loudest roar that Rinky has ever had for a shot that he's hit.
19-shot rally. Rinky Hijikata stays even with Nadal.
Rinky's starting to play
15
well.
love.
Has still had no pressure at all in Nadal's serve because he hasn't made too many returns, but he's starting to put a few more in play. You can't serve him up that many short forehands because he's going to be aggressive with it.
Love.
Yeah, this was actually, when he hit this, I thought pretty good play, but you forget sometimes Nadal can just flick the wrist, get that ball with the two-hander across court. A little clap from Hijikata.
I just keep thinking, Jimmy, Hijikata has never played somebody who could create a shot like that.
30-15.
Ever. You know, like he thinks, yeah, that's a pretty good shot I've just struck.
Yes, that's why it's a whole different experience, but on so many levels. The one thing, when he played Medvedev, he looked like he enjoyed it in the Medvedev match, and it looks to me like he's enjoying this.
I think you're right.
He's not overly afraid or scared, and if he was, that's gone now.
Oh.
Legend. Second serve. All.
So far, Nadal's average serve speed is 115.
Which I think that's normal for him.
Give it up.
That was a nervous point from Rafel Nadal.
30-40.
Hijikata had attacked his second serve the point before. He was up close again on the baseline, and Rafa went into that mode of overspinning the forehand, just putting it in play, trying to pick on Hijikata's backhand, which early in the match, that was all he needed to do. Doesn't seem like that's all he needs to do now.
First break point of the set.
For anybody.
New balls, please.
If he loses serve at
Love,
love,
15.
that's a bad sign. So important next couple of moments.
Love 30. $15-30.
That's a shocking gift from Nadal. All of a sudden, Carlos Moya and the other 12 coaches in his box are starting to get a little concerned.
A nice little recovery from love 30, huh?
Yes, but it's two
30
sort of
all.
medium speed serves out wide. Yeah, they were reasonably well placed, but you would expect Nadal from where he's staying to put them in.
This chance for 5-3.
40-30.
Very strange game so far. It was love 30. I expected that. I expected Hijikata to have trouble consolidating the break of serve, but then two missed returns and a very nervous point from Nadal there. Just high, short topspin.
Yeah, kind of timid looking.
Yeah.
Game. Hijikata.
Wow. Total shame.
Hijikata leads 5-3.
102 mile
First
an
set.
hour serve that wasn't even particularly well placed.
And you can hear Carlos Moya and the rest of Nadal's orchestra trying to cheer him on. By the way, there's a lot going on tonight. Emma Raducanu trying to defend her title. She's out on the court against Alice Cornet of France. That's a tricky one. Download the US Open app and follow everything that's going on. What's already happened on this day.
Love 15.
But Nadal just hit a winner for him,
15
I
all.
understand, but it was Hijikata that was sort of pushing Nadal around. Nadal ended up just redirecting, but that's not the way he wants these points to go. He wants to control things with his forehand. That was more of a reflex that went for a winner.
Yeah, he stayed home and the ball came to him. Rafa serving below 60%. Hijikata 79%.
And he has started Hijikata to attack Nadal's second serve. That's one of of the problems with attacking second serve, by the way, and you don't see it as often on the ATP tour as you do the WTA tour. But if you are inside the baseline and you don't get all of the return, you have no chance to defend the next ball.
(40-15). (40-30).
Fault.
Game, Nadal. Hijikata leads 5-4.
Come back.
But he just gave him one with a little asterisk because Hijikata did serve volley on a second serve. And I don't think Nadal was expecting it.
By the way, I should say he's going for his 23rd Grand Slam title, trying to tie the great Serena Williams, who plays on this court tomorrow night.
How many did this guy win?
Bjorn?
No, that's an Agassi.
It's an Agassi. There you go.
Yeah.
Agassi. Yeah. He did
They
pretty
won
well
like
on this
maybe
court.
7 or so at total.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ball was out on the left near sideline. Love
is moving amazingly well.
That was called out.
Came up with an amazing little ankle drop shot here, and Nadal can't believe this missed. I'd like to see it again myself.
It's been called 5 millimeters out.
Yeah. That's the second call Nadal is not quite believing. Whatever the end result is, he's 2 points away from losing this set. Actually knew Rinky Hijikata is pretty good. I know he's ranked 198, and he's got variety. He was going to come in. He was going to do some things. Having said that, I didn't think I'd see this.
He's playing bolder than Nadal.
Yes. That you can almost understand, but maybe not at this score. When you're serving for the set, you'd think he might get a little bit nervous.
(40-15).
And by the way, when you said you want to make two out of 3 set matches, one of the things I was thinking about is in the men's game, to beat someone in 3 out of 5 sets, you were better than them that day. To be able to win 3 sets against someone, you were just the better player. So that's where you wouldn't get Nadal, you still feel as though even if he loses this set.
Game and first set, Hijikata.
The
6 games to 4.
Australian Rinky Hijikata.
$15 love.
Yeah, these first 2 points, Nadal's had a little bit more on the
30
forehand.
love.
And one was a winner, the other one caused the error from Hijikata. And there's a part of me that feels as though when a player like Nadal is playing someone ranked 198, he has the thought process of when it gets tight towards the end of a set, just get the ball in play. This player's not going to be able to come through in the big moments. Hijikata did. So I think Nadal has to say to himself, wait a minute, I need to play. I need to win.
Hijikata finished that set with a 124-mile-an-hour ace.
$30-15.
There's a
30 all.
sort of flatness to Nadal right now.
The guy who's won this title 5 times. 2010, 2013, 2017, 2019. I should say he's going for his 5th U.S. Open. His 23rd major. But again, he hasn't played much this summer. Got to assume that the Nadal must be thinking, all right, I'm not playing my best.
40-30.
My opponent has never played a 3 out of 5 set match.
He's got all kinds of things he can tell himself to help him feel as though, and that was a nice forehand combined with a fist pump afterwards to sort of say, I'm not that flat right now. I'm ready to fight.
That we know.
Game, Nadal. First game, second set.
Nadal says the most emotional moment of his career was at this year's Australian Open, the title match against Medvedev, when he was down 2 sets. Ended up winning it in the 5th. That match took 5 hours and 24 minutes. That's about as, I think that's the most impressive match I've ever seen from him. Coming from that far back at his age.
It seems almost impossible, doesn't it? What he did in Australia, even he hadn't played since Washington, D.C. the year before, and came in and won his first 2 tournaments.
It
seems like, that's why you're right. He hasn't played much this summer, but that's only a couple of months that he's missed. He should be ready
but he's been
to go.
injured.
He
you know,
has.
that's the part. I mean, Nadal's a guy who likes some reps.
He does. This is the third straight service game from Hijikata that I feel it's really important. When he broke it 3-all to go 4-3, that was a huge game he held. Serving for a set, obviously a huge game. This is also a huge game to sort of try to keep that feeling that I can win.
Yes.
Sooner or later, he'll have a service game where I say, this is just a normal service game. Nadal still hasn't seen a break
Love 15.
point. Hasn't gotten himself a break point. He did have love 30 when Hijikata was serving at 4-3 in the first.
Love 30.
Oh.
That's just so strange.
15-30.
He's had love 30 once before and played 4 of the worst points that Nadal's played since 1987. And he's love 30, and again, that's just a regulation chip. You don't see Nadal miss that kind of ball very often. This is where it's good to be Nadal, or one of the greats, in that if Hijikata was playing anybody right now that didn't win any majors, just in a challenger, he wouldn't have played as poorly this game as he has. That's 3 forehand errors Hijikata's hit.
Game, Nadal.
Nadal breaks for the first time.
Nadal leads. 2 games to love. Second set.
And that's only because Hijikata got a little ahead of himself. He had that thought process of, can I win? Can I actually win? As soon as you get beyond this point, this next point, usually bad things tend to happen. It's one of the things Nadal does better than anyone in, I think, in the history of the game. Plays this point.
Hear
15 love.
how much Nadal's players box is talking to him now after every point, trying to get up his energy level, his confidence.
Love.
Hijikata with 12 unforced errors and 6 of
40
them in
love.
the first 2 2 games of this second set.
Third ace for Nadal.
Game, Nadal.
It's a little more like it.
Nadal leads 3 games to love. Second set. First set, Hijikata. Love 15.
Ball.
That was a nice serve. Surprised Nadal. How about this for a low-key upset? But it was the Wimbledon champion
15-all.
this summer. Elena Rybakina going out to Clara Burrell in straight sets.
Wow.
I know. A lot of people were struggling in the heat, humidity. A lot of trainers called to a lot of courts.
At 30-15. All.
Hijikata now yelling at himself to get back
40,
that sort of
30.
swagger that he had in the first set. He sort of came out a little bit flat in the second set. Fighting his way now after a couple nice points in a row.
Game, Hijikata. Nadal leads 3 games to 1. Second set. Please, ladies and gentlemen, your voices, try to keep them down. Thank you. $15 love.
We got some beautifully played points, didn't we? Some athletic points at the end of that first set, and it's sort of the level has dropped here to start the second. I expect to get it back at some point as Nadal's hitting the ball a little bit crisper, a little more depth. But Hijikata's level has dropped quite a bit.
First serve.
Hijikata with 14 unforced errors. 8 of them have already come in this second set.
And we're 4 games in. That's
Exactly.
the part that's distressing for him.
That's number 9.
40 love.
Fourth ace for Rafa. That at 115 miles an hour.
Oh.
Forty, 15. Game, Nadal. Thank you, players are ready. Please.
Rinky Hijikata serving down 1-4, up a set.
15 love.
.21-mile-an-hour ace down the tee for Hijikata. He's 5'10". Gets pretty good stick on the ball, both off the serve when he wants to. He mixes it up pretty well, but also on the ground stroke, we've seen him hit a couple of absolute rockets when he was pulled wide.
Does Hijikata remind you of anybody? He doesn't have to. I was just wondering.
I'm not sure. I would say
30 love.
Marcos Baghdatis with some of the ground stroke production, but maybe not. Marcos Baghdatis didn't come in quite as well as Hijikata does, or as often at least. But I think Rinky is his own man. There's no Rinky. I've never heard of a Rinky before. And
40
I
love.
heard that's not a nickname. That's like his.
That's his name.
Yeah, that's on his birth certificate.
Even better.
I know. Wow. No, the new rule that's being tried out is that you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to coach from the stands.
Yeah, but they should make a rule that there's only one coach. I mean, there's three guys yelling at him.
Yeah, you can't have people like from the woodwind section chiming in. But the deal is the players, it's not supposed to be a conversation. The player's not supposed to talk back.
Yeah, Hijikata.
It's a nice low hold for the 21-year-old
New balls,
Aussie.
please. Nadal leads.
I mean, Nadal has this break lead in the second set, but he hasn't really done anything. Hijikata just gave away a service game, first game of the second.
He likes it down on this side. He gets to talk to his guys. That's why he's hanging into that corner.
Oh.
Early on, you got a sense Nadal's
15 love.
three coaches weren't all that nervous. Even when he was staying reasonably close. They were sort of talking amongst themselves, smiling and laughing, and now all of a sudden there's a lot of "vamos, let's go" stuff being yelled in unison.
Thank you. Please, ladies and gentlemen, your voices again. Thank you. Fifteen all. (30-15).
Lefty serve is 113 miles an hour. It had a lot of movement to it. It doesn't look as though he's doing much, but just using his arm. But it still has almost as much speed as you always remember his serve. Back-to-back aces. That one 119 miles an hour.
40-15. Game Nadal. Fifteen love. Fifteen all.
Nadal dropping the first set here, and Emma Raducanu, the 11th seed, dropping the first set to the 32-year-old unseeded veteran, Alice Cornet, who's playing in her 63rd consecutive major, Jim. That's almost 16 years worth of majors without missing one.
Yeah, I mean, that's remarkable in itself. But you know what else is remarkable? She played all those and didn't make the quarterfinal till this year in Australia.
Yeah.
Round of 16, she could throw a few of those at you, but never got to a quarter till this year.
15-30.
That is perseverance.
All.
Oh. Oh.
30-40.
Nadal with a chance to even this.
Game and second set. Nadal. 6 games to 2. 1 set all.
important for Hijikata now early in this third set to sort of create a little doubt again in Nadal's mind. Nadal got tight at the end. The only way to say it, at the end of the first set, he started hitting the ball a little shorter, a little more spinny, and Hijikata was able to take advantage of that. Hijikata sort of donated a break of serve early in the second, and
ladies and
Nadal
gentlemen,
able to run away with it. So if you're Hijikata now, you got to find a way to make Nadal feel uncomfortable.
Oh.
I'll tell you, the acoustics in this place change when the roof is closed. And so we're going to be hearing from the chair umpire a bunch more as the honey deuces continue to be served. No judgment, of course.
I think it's one of the things that makes the U.S. Open is that the crowds are loud.
30 levels.
They're loud when the tennis is exciting, and they're loud even when it's not, because then they start talking amongst themselves.
Yeah. You can hear that ambient noise.
Oh.
Get this in college tennis.
No, but college tennis has a massive amount of pressure, because if you're playing that 7th match and both teams are lined up watching you.
That's true.
I get a sense Hijikata would have been maybe the guy you'd want playing in that situation. I think he seems to not mind the pressure. He showed it the way he played in the first set. He's now allowed Nadal to get a little confidence. He's starting to hit the forehand a little bigger.
You see Hijikata's starting to drift further and further beyond the baseline.
Yeah, he's
as Nadal gains the court.
Yeah,
right?
and obviously Hijikata can't. If that happens, he's in trouble.
Game Nadal. First game, third set.
So there's been a couple of moments now in this match where I've said how important this service game is for Hijikata. This one's massive again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The first year when this roof was available, and it is a remarkable design, but the sound when they were building it was a lot different than when it was a packed crowd in the packed Ash Stadium the first time they closed it. There was a thing, Jimmy, where like the players on the court, there was so much noise sort of trapped inside this huge arena that the players couldn't hear the chair umpire.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like they had to, I think they had to do all kinds of like, they had to get audio engineers to try to use like baffling to figure out a way to make this sound better. There was not so much fan noise.
Oh.
We saw in the first set from Hijikata. He's taking it to Nadal with the wide serve.
15
taking the next ball early, and once he gets up to the net, Hijikata's very comfortable volleying, as it seems all of that country, Australia, has been over the years. That was a great dig from Hijikata on the serve and volley, but you never want to miss a lob wide. And that was why you got this sort of wry stare down from Nadal to his coaching box.
40 love. Game, Hijikata.
Pretty snappy looking love hold from Hijikata. There is
1 game all.
Ash Stadium.
Third set.
Back in 2016, a retractable roof was built at a cost of about $150 million, and it had to be reverse engineered. You could see all those big pilings holding this thing up because it wasn't built to have a roof. And that was a tricky thing. And it took them a couple of years to figure out how they could pull it off. And then I don't know if you remember how
Please,
hot
ladies
it
and
was
gentlemen.
in 2018.
Please.
Was that the year Millman beat Federer?
A miserable heat
Yeah.
wave. And it would reduce the air circulation. A lot of heat, a lot of humidity. A lot of complaints from the players. That's good. That's great.
That's an awesome point from Hijikata. He's come back in this early stages of the third set and starting to do some of the things he did in the first set, creating problems for
Love
Nadal.
15.
He's got a nice variety to his game, Hijikata. Just catches a little piece of the line.
$15 all.
We're sort of worried about Nadal's serve coming in. He's at 7 aces. That's sort of what he gets for a match in 3 out of 5 sets often. He's not a big ace guy, so his serve hasn't been really the problem.
If you've got an abdominal tear, I mean,
That's where you would. That's where it normally
that's
shows.
the first. That's the first
Yes.
place it would show. Is that the
Yes.
only place it would show?
And an overhead. Those two.
Yeah.
$15-30.
I told you Hijikata would take some second serves, return, and come in. He just did it for the first time, and it did work. It wasn't a great approach, but Nadal was surprised, and it's a little pressure on the Nadal serve.
$30 all.
He's kind of talking to his coach there. That was a bad error. He's got Nadal a little unsure. Don't give him the free point.
Aussies are a lot quieter than the Spaniards in these players' boxes. Do you notice?
Well, they're texting quite a bit, but not talking as much.
40-30.
Mark Draper coaching on the left. He's coach.
Game Nadal. Love 15.
See, there's some eating too. It's not just swilling.
Eating would be a little quieter, however.
I think so.
More people were eating. Hijikata, the one thing that's hurt him in this match is sort of the shoulder high backhand. He's made some errors on that shot when it's just sort of a rally ball.
Love 30.
Ball.
Love 40.
Triple break point without really earning that much of it for Nadal. And again, when you're playing these top players, and you're ranked 198, you have to be almost perfect throughout. You can't give them 2 or 3 points on your service game. Raced one with an ace.
15-40.
Ball.
Game Nadal. Nadal leads 3-1. Third set.
Another bit of a gift from Hijikata. Just sort of gave Nadal another break of serve. Again, when you're playing one of the all-times, hard to give him games like that and live to tell about it.
Reminder, check out US Open on social media. It's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Please.
A lot going on this day too. Some big surprises. Emma Raducanu continues to battle on the other main court. It's a good looking match over there. You want to check out the scores, the stats against Alexei Cornet.
15.
Raducanu had a break lead in the second, just lost it. So she's 3-2 up on serve, however. Cornet serving 2-3.
Ball.
Battle of court positions changed a bit
15 all.
as Nadal's starting to step up more often. Here's an example of it. It was a decent deep return, but 2 shots later, Nadal was inside the baseline ripping a backhand winner.
Something, huh?
Yeah, it's another example of something if you're a junior you should learn to not do very often, and that is when you run around your backhand.
30-15.
Don't just rally inside in, because if you go back inside in from there and you haven't forced your opponent to be in all kinds of trouble, you are going to have trouble catching up to that next cross-court ball. Now, I'm sure Hijikata, when he hit that, didn't think it was that. I thought it was not that bad. Nadal treated it harshly. Rinky has some decent dinks when he wants to at times, and that was an example. He's got
30 all.
Talent, doesn't he? Hands, power.
Oh, yeah.
He's just got to, in this match, he's got to go for it. That's because his forehand, when he's hitting it, is big enough that it backs up Nadal a little, and it might open up some more opportunities for what you just saw. Mark Draper on the left. That's Tripp Phillips in the North Carolina outfit next to him. Assistant coach at North Carolina, tennis coach.
Thank you.
A lot of Tar Heels in that player's box.
There, yeah. He's he only went sophomore year, was what you said, right? But he's still Tar Heel blue.
Lent. Second serve.
Just can't see Nadal losing this match now. In the meantime, Emma Raducanu
40-30.
didn't drop a set last year. Is just 3 games away from losing in straight sets in the opening round. Has there ever been a more improbable Grand Slam champion than the qualifier, Raducanu, last year? And she is going to drop down. She loses this match. She'll drop down
leads
to perhaps
4 games
around
to 1.
90 in the world.
Third set.
Yeah.
1 set all.
Pretty comfortable third set. After Rafel Nadal took that second one 6-2. Hijikata now serving at 1-4.
Love.
And it's time now for Hijikata to bring in a little more serve and volley, a little less trying to rally with Nadal, because the pattern of Nadal's forehand to Hijikata's backhand is a bad pattern for most players, but it's definitely been a bad one for Hijikata. Disgusted that he missed that ball. Surprised.
30 love.
But again, it was set up by that heavy spinning lefty. That's another one of those just a millimeter or 2 out. I'm thinking there's a possibility there's someone from the University of North Carolina working the machine right now, because there's been quite a few just by a millimeter or 2. They all seem to go Hijikata's way.
30-15.
Serve and volley again, but this is the problem if you don't get that serve wide enough. That was just half a step for Nadal to get over there. Left quite a bit of room down the line.
Fault.
(40-15). Game, Hijikata. Nadal leads 4-2. Third set. Please, ladies and gentlemen.
The dull roar that you were talking about that just sort of continues.
$15.
Fault.
Hijikata just hasn't been able to make Nadal feel that pressure again. Hasn't felt as much doubt, and because of that, Nadal's hitting the ball just a little too deep, a little too heavy. And Hijikata's not really causing much problem for Nadal.
Fault.
Let. Second serve.
Again, that wasn't a bad return at all from Hijikata.
40
He
love.
expected something a little bit shorter, but all of a sudden the length on Nadal's shots are getting there. Although Nadal's taking a look, wasn't sure that ball was long from Hijikata. He just wanted to make sure.
Fault.
Game, Nadal. New balls, please. Love 15.
Fault.
15 all.
I think Nadal's still slightly unhappy with, though he's on the verge of a 2-set-to-1 lead. He's missed some returns off ordinary second serves that he wouldn't expect. A couple of forehands like that. Stats aren't looking bad if you just look at his stats. 25 winners, 11 unforced errors. That looks pretty good, but I feel as though they don't count missed second serve returns, and for him those are unforced. Beautiful handcuffed volley from Hijikata.
30
has flashes of brilliance,
15.
Hijikata, but it's just not quite solid enough yet to keep this up for 3 out of 5 sets.
Forty, 15.
On the second serve that just sort of rolled in.
40, 30.
Hijikata's gotten away with that quite often. That time, Nadal said, get that out of here. 77-mile-an-hour second serve.
Deuce. Advantage, Hijikata.
I admit to being distracted. There's another screen up here in our Ash booth. And we just watched Emma Raducanu go down to the 32-year-old French woman, unseeded Alice Cornet. She's the one who stopped the 37-match win streak of
Hijikata.
and now she's taken out last year's U.S. Open
Nadal leads.
champion.
5 games to 3. Third set.
A career year for Alice Cornet. Nadal serving for a
Players are ready.
2-1 lead.
It's somewhat surprising how little
15 love.
we've seen Nadal up at the net. Nadal normally someone that when he does get in, first of all, one of the better volleyers, amazingly, because you think of him as somewhat of a clay courter, but he's a great volleyer and hasn't had the opportunity, I suppose, in this match to get in as often as he'd like, because it's a combination of Hijikata playing some points where he's very aggressive. Hijikata comes in himself, combined with missing a few backhands for Hijikata, just sort of rally ball. So Nadal hasn't really seemed to find his way up to the net very often. 2 points away from a 2-set-to-1 lead, however.
$40 love. $40-15.
Hijikata from way off the court.
Yeah.
He found that angle.
There's so many flashes of brilliance from Hijikata.
40-30.
It's fun to watch. You don't know what you're going to get. And here's an example of some of that brilliance. In trouble. Perfectly placed angle. Nadal not quite able to get there in time.
Game in third set. Nadal. 6 games to 3. Nadal leads 2-1.
4-time champ Rafel Nadal.
Love 15.
Again, disgusted with himself. That's a pattern that Hijikata is not going to win very often.
15 all.
Backhand
All those
Nadal's
backhands.
forehand. Yeah, it was not ideal for Hijikata, but he hung in there long enough for Nadal to make an unforced error with his forehand.
Another forehand miss.
But again, set the point up exactly how he likes.
30-15.
Again, a heavy topspin to the backhand. Got a ball right in the center. Ran around, missed it by a ½ an inch. Even less. By ½ a millimeter. Quite as well as it had worked early. As
30 all.
Starting to get ready for it. So all of a sudden, if the serve's not very wide, he's in trouble. It's got to be wide enough to get Nadal to have to take a couple of steps to get there.
Come on! 40-30.
Seen a lot of players get discouraged down 2-1 against Nadal. Nice to see that Rinky Hijikata doesn't want to leave this court anytime soon. This is what you spend your whole life, your young life.
Well, this is what you're dreaming about.
Exactly.
When you're a kid. This sort of court, this moment.
Yes.
Crowds in all of tennis. It's here in Ash Stadium, always. By the way, I have a memory of players sometimes struggling with this roof and overheads. Nadal did not in this point. I don't know exactly why, but I just have a memory seeing players miss overheads that you would expect.
Advantage.
Best roof in tennis.
That I don't know the answer to. I mean,
the Wimbledon roof has its own Twitter.
Wow.
Spot, yeah, and it's hilarious. Very dry and funny, and yeah. So I'm going Wimby.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It's got its own feed, for crying out loud.
There'll be 2 covered courts at Wimbledon soon enough. Court 1 gets covered along with center court. French Open is going to have a chapeau over Suzanne Lenglen in the coming years. This place has got 2. Australia's got 3.
Game. Hijikata.
Hijikata holds on.
First game, 4th set.
Still got plenty of attitude, and he seems to still have energy, Rinky Hijikata.
Yeah, I don't think from a physical standpoint he's troubled at all at this point. He looks fine. I do think the celebration there, come on, it feels a little bit forced to me as well, as if trying to find a way to get himself pumped up. Kind of like I felt with Nadal when he was fist pumping after the 2nd set.
Jimmy, I first saw this talking about social media on Twitter this morning. And I think I first saw from Rabbi Uba, who said that if Alice Cornet beats Emma Raducanu, she'll have beaten Grand Slam champions at all 4 majors this year. The Australian Open, she beat Muguruza and Halep. At Roland Garros of French, she beat Ostapenko. At Wimbledon, she stopped Iga, her 37-match win streak. Now she's taken out the defending champ.
Why won't they seed her?
She's number 40 in the world, but boy, oh boy, she knows how to bust open.
No, when you saw the
draws
draw,
at majors.
When you saw the draw,
oh yeah, that looked like trouble.
Yeah, that looked like trouble for Raducanu. She had so much pressure coming in. Anyway, and you don't want to play someone that sort of had that type of success that you're talking about against big name players in majors.
Love 15. Please, ladies and gentlemen. $15 all.
Fault.
See how Rafa just stopped that tennis ball with his foot? Go anywhere and look up Rafa kicking around a tennis ball like it's a soccer ball. It's some of the most amazing stuff you've ever seen. He could keep it going for like 20, I mean, from foot to foot, a tennis ball.
Yeah, something tells me he wouldn't have been a bad soccer player either had he chosen soccer.
I told you, his mom made him choose.
Yeah.
30.
Having said that, you wouldn't have known. I don't think there's the same level of just how mental tennis is compared to soccer, and that's one of the big separators for Nadal. It's just mentally he is different
30 all.
than any tennis player ever. Even going for history, he's able to just stay in
From
that
point to
one point.
point.
Yes. Whereas you've seen it affect Djokovic. Last year, the entire US Open, he wasn't quite himself, and he still made the finals, just to give you an idea of how good of a tennis player he is. But then finally he played someone that thought he could beat him in Medvedev in the
40,
finals, and he couldn't
30.
really perform.
Djokovic was gassed.
Yes.
By the time he got there, he'd already won the first 3 majors, and he went to Tokyo to try to win Olympic gold. And boy, I was there, it was so hot. And I'm wondering if maybe he had to do it over again. Well, he probably would still try to win a medal for Serbia. By the time he got here, but remember, Jimmy, we called that final. Remember the standing ovation Djokovic got, the biggest reaction he'd ever gotten from these New York fans, and he lost the match.
Yeah.
And they were trying to show their appreciation for him. It was beautiful. He was crying on the court. He said he'd never felt like.
Game Nadal. One game all. 4th set.
A lot of people figured that this guy would retire before a lot of the other people who retired
Thank
just
you.
this
Players
year,
are ready.
including the Women's Australian Open champ, Ash Barty.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming.
No.
Sam Querrey played his final match today. He's retiring.
I'm guilty of having Nadal pegged as sort of another
15
board.
Right.
I thought late 20s will be about it. Started in his teens. His game was so physical. Every point, he played every point to the best of his ability. Just felt as though, how can someone keep that up for that long? Well, it's proven me wrong by a decade or so.
Del Potro has retired for
30
good.
long.
He tried gamely earlier this year, couldn't get it done. Hard to watch him in that last match he played, limping around. He's had so many surgeries, wrist, knee.
The sad part about him is, to me, he'd be in the conversation with these guys, the big 3 or big 4, or big 5 when Murray was part of it. He was still competing with them even after he lost his left wrist, and his two-handed backhand was a shadow of what it could have been or was.
Yep. Kevin Anderson, the finalist here, he too has retired. Serena says this is her final major,
30,
but has left that
15.
door open to maybe play a little bit more after the Open. Venus, she lost on this court earlier today. She does not talk about retirement. She's older than Serena by 15 months. They'll be playing doubles. She said it was Serena's idea to play. The decision is hers. She said, I just want to hold up my side of the court and be a good sister.
40-15. Game, Hijikata.
Yeah, I'm just loving the body language.
Hijikata leads 2 games to 1. Fourth
Nice to
set.
see.
Nadal leads 2 sets to 1.
That's going to be good.
Love 15.
Again, there have been moments like this in the match, haven't there, where Hijikata's the one who's sort of hit the highlight reel shots. Here's one of them. And he's a showman.
We saw him do the Nadal, the big fist pump when he won the first set. Now he's doing the Medvedev move from a couple of years ago.
That's it.
Right? he knows his tennis stars.
15-all.
That was better than
30.
the last one, actually, from the cheap seats almost. He was so far back, but absolutely
Stinky
right.
from Rinky.
Yeah, that was 95-mile-an-hour forehand winner down the line, kind of off his back leg. There's a chance at 15-30. He hasn't had a chance, Hijikata, since the first set to make Nadal nervous at all. He can attack second serves. Why not? Let's go for it.
He's going for it.
It was a perfect combination, wasn't it? A great deep return right down the middle to back Nadal up. Then he rips this one cross court, and I think he just saw Nadal guess right, and I think that sort of caused him to slash at it a little bit harder.
Let's watch it again.
But Nadal had already stuck his leg in and had started coming back right as he was swinging. Missed backhand returns in this game. This sort of feels as though it was such an important game for Hijikata. He had 2 brilliant forehand passing shots. Had 15-30 and a forehand inside the service line. If he doesn't break here, little nervous for him in his next service game.
Two games all.
Pretty well disguised
Fourth
drop
set.
shot. Nadal got a late jump, and Hijikata could have done better with the pass. And I think you hear Nadal's box sort of talking to him now, because they also know this is the time you can put it away right here. Hijikata had a good chance to break serve, or at least a bit of a chance, didn't convert. Finish it here. You get the sense
50.
for Rinky to hold serve here, he's going to have to do some of the spectacular Rinky stuff that we've seen at times.
You see Nadal again shading over into that corner so he could hear his coaches even better.
Oh.
You a big fan of this trial thing? The coach is allowed to coach from their,
from their
player box?
I'm not really a fan, because I do think a big part of tennis is figuring things out for yourself. The only redeeming quality for it would be if they're mic'd up and we get to hear from a television standpoint what the coaches are saying.
Love 30.
I'm okay with it, simply because it helps the sport in a television entertainment sort of way. It's just sort of letting them yell at each other. They do that anyway when it wasn't allowed.
Right. So what? So,
but I don't know. I just feel that. I feel like it's a big part of the game is who's stronger mentally, who's recognizing things. Hijikata after he didn't convert, and Nadal's just absolutely juicing up the forehand now.
Love 40.
Moving nicely too.
Yeah.
He hasn't always looked like he's been moving that well in this match, and now
it's felt.
He sees the finish line.
Yeah, it's felt as though he's actually at the beginning stages he was unsure of everything. His movement was part of that.
It has been a terrific 2.5 hours for Rinky Hijikata. Has it been a good 2.5 hours for Rafel Nadal? Is this the kind of first-round match he wanted to play, testing himself?
I would say actually yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it was overly taxing. We're sort of giving him the win already. It's not quite over, but think it was overly taxing. He did have anxious moments
15
that he
all.
had to overcome. And I think he knows he's a guy that can work his way into a tournament, Nadal. So this is a match he's going to improve in the next one, and he's going to have to against an opponent, as you mentioned earlier, Fabio Fognini, who's had success against him.
So that sort of, I don't know, it does look like he's trying to toss the ball not as high up. He doesn't want to stretch as much.
Which, if you're feeling a little pressure, you'd think there would be a few more double faults. He's only had 2.
He's only had 2. He's had 9 aces.
Surprisingly went after that overhead pretty aggressively. Nadal after a
30,
beautiful backhand.
15.
Seems as though, if anything, Nadal's backhand's improved over the years.
Absolutely. If you're just joining us, we remind you that Rafel Nadal has been suffering with an abdominal tear. That's why he's had a quiet summer. Losing to Borna George in Cincinnati in the first round.
First serve.
After he pulled out of Wimbledon. And allowing that, he was taking it easy in Cincinnati and in the practices. Not putting all his effort on his serve. And he even allowed that, even here practicing for the US Open, he wasn't going all out on his serve.
If you're Rafel Nadal, you need to recognize is never approach to Rinky.
30 all.
We've seen 3 now, and they've been 3 brilliant forehand passing shots. You better test the backhand next time. He thought he'd gotten Hijikata leaning the wrong way.
Please, ladies and gentlemen. .40-30.
That's the one shot I think Hijikata would love to have back, is his backhand return today. Just a couple of important moments where he's missed on what looked like somewhat routine serves from Nadal. But you know what? That happens to many players against Nadal. He hits that little slicey lefty serve, and players mistime it a lot.
Game Nadal. Nadal leads 4 games to 2, 4th set.
See, actually, honestly, the boxes there are some mics in the boxes. They're not wearing them. They're hot.
Well, that's also somewhat scary for the people in the box.
Be careful. Be careful.
It's gonna preclude me from ever coaching anybody. If I'm unaware, imagine what I'm saying when I'm unaware people are listening. And that's the shot Nadal is going to want to have over again in this match. He's probably the least happy with his return. That's an 87-mile-an-hour second serve that wasn't particularly wide. He's missed quite a few of those today.
30 love.
Back-to-back missed second serve returns off 287-mile-an-hour serves. Those won't go down as unforced errors. They don't seem to ever count return of serves as an unforced error, but they are in this case.
$30-15. $40-15.
Just hit the 10 p.m. mark.
Yeah, trying to stay within just one service break for perhaps steal one. He's got only 2 chances left to get that break back.
Rinky.
Game. Hijikata.
Don't mess with Rinky's forehand.
New balls, please.
I mean, I think we've all
Nadal
learned that
leads
lesson
4
tonight.
games to 3. Fourth set. And 2 sets to 1. Love 15.
The last couple service games for Nadal haven't been as easy. He's gotten to 30 all a couple times, 15-30 time before last. That was an ugly looking forehand from Nadal. Finish line's very close. But Hijikata's dangerous, and that's 2 bad errors
Love
from
30.
Nadal. All of a sudden, love 30, a little bit of pressure.
These are the moments that are interesting in matches like these, when one player wants to get off the court and the other one is going to do everything he can to stay on it.
Love 40.
Usually you see a parent, they're so nervous. Rinky's mom looks like she's sort of enjoying the moment as well.
Please. $15-40.
Backhand return off just 105-mile-an-hour slider, and Nadal let out just loud enough almost for Hijikata to hear it. It was almost a subtle. Here we go. I'm finding a way back. But he's got a second serve now to work with Hijikata. Like to see him go forward. Can't really count on another error from Nadal.
30-40.
Hijikata backed way up. Nadal sensed it. Drop shot. Not a great jump to read the drop shot, Hijikata, but he does have some speed. The more nervous Nadal. Spinning and short.
Deuce.
But you still have to find a winner against the guy that moves and defends as well as Nadal does. And Hijikata went for it with a backhand down the line.
He was grunting big in that whole rally as well.
He was.
More than we've heard from him all night.
Yes, but the ball didn't have as much on it.
Advantage, Nadal.
Oh.
Rinky's backhand, but another forehand error for Nadal in this game. That's 3 or 4 on that forehand wing.
Hijikata got a wild card into this thing. There's a reciprocal agreement among Australia and the French Open and the US Open, not Wimbledon, that they give their country's young players or veterans who can't get into the draw because of their dropped ranking. They give them wild cards into the majors. And this 21-year-old got one here and is making the most of it.
Advantage Nadal.
The love 40 point was a similar backhand return. Just missed long. Does it again at deuce. That return has hurt Hijikata throughout this match. In a match that really would have taken for him perfection to find a way to actually find a way to win, really.
Nadal leads 5 games to 3.
Oh, this was dangerous for Nadal because look what he was doing. He was trying to approach to the forehand. You better hit a winner, and if you do, you get to hop along to the next game.
4 points away now.
Love 15. Let. First serve.
False.
Against Nadal and just sort of
Love
give him
30.
that space to hit into and not do something with the ball. This is exactly what happened here for Hijikata. Ran around, just put that ball in. Left that much real estate. Nadal, especially with his forehand, is going to find it.
False.
$15-30.
Unforced error, not unforced, but somewhat forced error from Nadal. Part of that was Hijikata hit the backhand down the line and made the move as if he's coming in. Changed his mind, but I think that helped Nadal coax that error out of Nadal into the net.
$30.
Here's what's back.
30-40. Deuce.
Nadal shaking his head, telling his coaching box that that ball skidded. And I think we've seen that throughout. There's places on this court that are a little bit skiddy. And that's why we've seen some missed returns off what look to be returns that are somewhat easy for these players normally. For a little while.
He doesn't want this.
Hijikata.
And Rinky did save a match point a minute ago. He's got a game point now to at least see if he can force Nadal to serve it out.
False.
Deuce.
Fault. Fault.
Advantage, Nadal. Let. First serve.
Hijikata going for that same spot that skidded the last time he faced match point. So funny to see many players miss slices. But when Nadal does it, you almost, what? What just happened? Doesn't miss a slice.
Thank you.
Facing down a couple of match points now, Hijikata.
Advantage, Hijikata.
Force Nadal to serve out this match. It's already gone over 3 hours. This 21-year-old Aussie has shown us an awful lot of what he can do. He's trying to show us more.
Somewhat disconcerted feeling when you see Nadal.
What is going on with these guys?
He had an opportunity to catch the ball and fumbled it away. It's got to be disconcerting to see Nadal when he starts that step forward with the forehand. As soon as Hijikata saw that, as soon as I saw that, I said, we're going back to deuce.
Yeah. Got the short ball. That one flies wide.
Advantage, Hijikata.
Fault.
I've ever seen someone run around the way Nadal does occasionally.
Deuce.
It's always sort of a slide as you run around. He sometimes turns and runs. Watch how he gets around this one. That one was more crossover steps to get around it.
I know what you're talking about.
But he'll occasionally like almost turn and sprint and then hit a forehand.
Fault.
Hijikata. That was not one of them.
Another match point for Rafel Nadal.
Advantage Nadal.
This one game goes into the 11-minute mark.
Deuce.
Nadal's even shaking his head and smiling. He's like looking over there like, my dude.
It's match point. We've been playing already over 3 hours. Let it go.
There's another one.
Advantage Nadal.
You just know he's going to have some very nice things to say about the 21-year-old Rinky Hijikata. A wild card that's given Rafa a bit of a wild night.
Please, when the players are ready, time to be quiet.
A little scoldy, but okay.
But you can't finish it off.
Deuce.
At least that's how it seems right now. This game.
Thank you. Players are ready.
13.5-minute game.
Out.
Yeah, that did.
That looked totally long.
Advantage Nadal.
Wow.
As Hijikata didn't look like he was just playing it.
No, exactly.
Please. Set and match Nadal. 3 sets to 1. 4-6. 6-2. 6-3.
Some terrific
6-3.
tennis on our stadium tonight from both of them. But Nadal gets the last word.
He proved me wrong again. I thought you can only get to the brink against Rinky, but he managed to get across the line with an absolutely sick, the best shot he hit all.